Hello and welcome to Storied San Francisco. I'm your host, Jeff Hunt. All throughout September, we focused on small business owners. Some were new to the show, and some were revisits with past guests, like this special episode. We catch up with Mark Bieschke of 48 Hills and the Stud Collective. Mark recounts how both have endured during the pandemic. He also talks about publishing his book Into the Streets this summer. If you want to support local, independent journalism, go to 48hills.org for details. Here's Mark.
So 48 Hills is super busy. There's more stories than ever to cover, especially with all the businesses slowly reopening in their individual ways and some businesses jumping the gun. So we're trying to keep our eye out for that. And there's just so much more going on, to watch, to see, to do in the comfort of your own home that we're trying to cover. And there's also a lot of political shenanigans going on that we're trying to...
I was going to say a couple things.
Yeah, a lot of revelations of corruption coming to light in City Hall. There's elections coming up that we're busy trying to keep tabs on. And it's just been a really fun and wild ride in terms of producing content from local journalists, which is so important right now. I mean, like other media companies, we are struggling, like every kind of company, we are struggling. But we've been really fortunate to have the support of our wonderful members, and we would encourage anyone who wants to support our mission and local journalism in general. All of our money goes direct to local journalists and editors. We're a nonprofit. You can come to our website, 48hills.org, and sign up to become a member at different levels, or drop a donation off and ding dong drop and run. And
I love it.
Fine.
Old school. If I can ask, if you want to talk about it, is it that advertising is drying up?
Yeah.
Is the big thing?
Yeah, basically our advertising revenue dropped to zero for about 5 months. Now it's slowly coming back online as international people realize, that by advertising locally, they can reach better targeted audiences. Right. There's also some arts things coming back online. Mm-hmm. People want to advertise their podcasts or, their streams, their DJ streams.
Wait, podcasts have money?
Yeah.
What is that?
We also do trades. You're cute enough. So people are starting to realize that slowly the advertising is coming back, but really 1/3 of our revenue stream dropped to zero. Our other contributions come mainly from donations, and people were so scared in losing their jobs and not knowing the future, still really not knowing the future, that those have kind of slowed down too. So we've just become creative and patient and really happy for every bit of support that we can get.
Awesome. And I will say it. I don't know if it's the kind of thing you didn't want to boast, but excellent political coverage.
Oh,
thanks to your partner.
Yeah, Tim Redmond. He's
is
our political junkie journalist. He's been in it for 30 years, right in the front lines, and he is just pumping it out right now. He's a full-time professor at USF for journalism. His classes are overflowing, and he still finds time to cover the local scene as much as possible. We also have made a commitment that our site is going to be more than 70% voices of color by the end of the year, and we're at about 60% now, and we have a number of new reporters and writers who have joined us, young people of color, Black people, and we're so happy to have them.
Rad. Very cool. Okay, shifting now back to your life. Another big part of your story and what we talked about in your first episode with us was your involvement with the Stud.
Yes.
And since that time, I think your podcast came out in I don't know. Let's just say
June?
Not now.
Yes.
Like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So some things have happened with the Stud. Can you update us on that?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, since we talked, the Stud has officially closed. I think it hadn't closed when we last talked.
It had not.
Yeah, so the Stud closed. We had an all-star online funeral that featured all kinds of big political names, big drag names from around the world. We had about 10,000 viewers all attending the Stud, and so many people shared wonderful stories from, old gay couples who had met there in the 60s who were still together to like young non-binary people who had finally found a place of their own, while they were in college, right after high school. And so it was really touching. It lasted 24 hours.
Wow, as it should.
I DJ'd around 5 a.m.
Yes.
But it was
everyone went to the end-up afterwards.
And now we've really transitioned online. We have a Saturday night drag show called Drag Alive. It's a 4-hour drag show featuring drag numbers, hilarious comedy from our hosts, really good new music, all kinds of performances. That's every Saturday at twitch.com/dragalive.
Okay.
And we've really expanded it into a network. We now have many more drag shows throughout the week on that same channel. So
Rad.
we've become a media company instead of a bar.
Right, as you do now.
Right, as you kind of have to.
Can you talk about any plans? Because what I saw was that originally the plan was to eventually, first of all, when we all can, and then secondly, when you guys obviously find a spot. Any developments there?
For sure. One of the reasons that we closed is according to the terms of our lease, we had to find another place to move to by the end of the year. And we were paying a ridiculous amount of rent because we had new landlords. So we figured, why should we pay this rent through the end of the year when we don't know when we're going to open? It would totally break us. So what we did was we made a strategic decision to close. And after we closed, we could redouble our efforts to find a new place to move into. So we're still looking, and we're still hoping. We don't really want to root for COVID, but real estate prices are dropping. So,
But it's a double-edged sword because you're like, stick around just long enough
then
for the prices, and then we get the cure, and we open, and everything's...
we have a huge party where we can all celebrate.
Everything's affordable again.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. So y'all are kind of doing the dance of eventually
watching the timing, but we've definitely still been checking out parts. We've got several irons in the fire. So.
Okay, cool. So one more thing that I wanted to talk about that has happened in your life since we first got you on the podcast, and that is you have published a book. So
yes,
let's talk about it.
I am so excited.
I think a very timely
Thank you.
and very important.
Yeah,
which I haven't read yet. I'm advocating a book I haven't read. It's
That's fine. My book is called Into the Streets, and it's a young person's visual history of protest in the United States. And it's basically the first book that's ever been written of its kind for young people or adults. So it's really something for adults as well. It's a very visual guide through more than 400 years of protest in the United States. Everything from slave rebellions and early resistance to colonialists by Native Americans, up through Greta Thunberg, and we're working on a second printing now that has the George Floyd uprising in it. It's been selling really well. We're going into a second printing and an update, and I've been getting letters from teachers all over the country about how much they appreciate this, because young people have seen so many of these images on TV, especially this summer, and haven't really had a historical context for them. So it's been a real joy to show them everything from the Tea Party, which they may be familiar with, through to the New Orleans Massacre of 1865, which they may never have heard of. So,
right. I remember as a kid when I first learned or saw what a protest was like, before I learned that wasn't the first time it ever happened, and these things have context, and I think movements and protests feed off of each other, and
for sure. Definitely one of the points the book makes is that these are all ongoing struggles. There's several themes, especially the theme of Black liberation. The thing that we saw this summer, this massive hopeful uprising, is really in part due to the deep work that Black activists have been doing for decades, from the Black Panthers right up through now, where people can go on the street and say things like Black Lives Matter, which is a direct descendant from Black Power. So, yeah.
Okay, I guess let's end, if you can. How are you doing?
Oh.
I haven't asked anyone that dreaded fucking 2020 question. How are you? No, but really, how are you doing personally?
Yeah, personally, I am falling on some old bad behaviors of overworking myself so I don't have to think about things. Just keep swimming and then you won't sink. But I'm definitely feeling a lot of the pressure that that everyone is feeling right now, where there's just a deep sorrow of mourning, there's a deep uncertainty, and there's just a quiet moment alone means you either drop to the bottom of the pond or you refresh yourself. Who knows? So yeah, I feel that, believe me.
That was Mark Bieschke. On the next episode of Storied San Francisco, we'll get to know 111 Mena owners Michelle Delaney and Alex Kivelstedt. Please join us for episode 35 tomorrow. Music for Storied San Francisco is by Otis McDonald. Photography is by Michelle Kilfeather. The show is hosted and produced by me. Michelle and I have produced more than 120 episodes over the last 3 years, and you can find them all over at our website, storiedsf.com. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, as well as just about everywhere you can listen to podcasts. Please subscribe to stay up to date on all the content we publish. And if you have any feedback for us, or you just want to say hi, our email is storiedsf@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Stay strong, stay safe, and stay healthy.
This podcast is a proud member of the BFF.FM podcast network. Learn more at podcasts.bff.fm.
BFF.FM, best frequencies forever.